The Mirror That Lied. Story 3. The city didn't just watch tragedies, it applauded them. Detective Imani Cross stared at the livestream promo like it was a threat written in glitter. Mara Voss Live. The Mirror Case. Reenactment exclusive. She hadn't told the press the details. She hadn't told most of the precinct the details. Yet Mara's teaser clip flashed images so accurate it felt like someone had been in the room with the bodies, sniffing the sulfur like it was perfume. Dr. Ilian Sable leaned over the table, exhausted enough to start believing in demons just to save time. "I don't know what's worse," he muttered, "that she knows everything or that she knows it before we do." Imani didn't answer, because her hands were doing that thing, not shaking. No, Imani didn't shake, but her fingers were tapping the table in a tight rhythm like a code she couldn't stop sending. Sable noticed. "You good?" Imani's gaze stayed on the screen. "I'm fine. It was always fine, always controlled, always clean." Nobody at the precinct knew that some nights Imani lost minutes, not drunk minutes, not tired minutes, just missing time. She called it episodes, privately, like giving it a smaller name made it less dangerous. She'd learned long ago, if people smell weakness on you, they treat you like a crime scene. So she never spoke of it, not to HR, not to doctors, not even to the mirror. Especially not the mirror. The theater was hidden behind a plain door like something ancient had learned modern camouflage. Inside, the audience glittered, money, perfume, cruel laughter. Mirrored columns lined the walls like upright lakes waiting to swallow a face. Mara Voss stepped on stage in a black gown that shined like a confession. "Welcome, darlings," she purred, "to the truth the police can't give you." She smiled like a knife that knew it was pretty. "Because they're too busy pretending they're safe." The crowd laughed. Imani didn't. Sable leaned in and whispered, "This place feels like a bad decision with a sound system." Imani whispered back, "Keep your eyes off the mirrors." Sable snorted. "In here? That's like telling a cat to ignore chaos." Mara clapped once. The curtain rose. A mirrored wall shimmered behind her like a portal dressed as decor. "Tonight," Mara said, voice smooth, "we will reenact the murders exactly as they happened." The audience cheered like they'd been starving. Mara turned slightly and her eyes flicked just briefly toward Imani's seat. Not a glance, a recognition. Mara smiled wider. Then she said, sweet as poison, "And our guest performer has a very special connection to this case." A figure stepped into the stage light, wearing a detective coat, Imani's coat. Same shoulder stitching, same badge clip, same posture. Imani's stomach dropped like an elevator cutting cables. Sable's mouth went dry. "Cross." The performer lifted their face into the light, Imani's face, but smoother, cleaner, like pain had never touched it. The crowd didn't recognize the horror. They recognized a character. They clapped. They lifted phones. They began recording. And in that moment, the Syndicate smiled through every camera lens, because attention is a form of permission. The reenactment began. A volunteer actor played the victim. Nervous laughter, forced bravado. The crowd ate it up. The actors stepped toward the standing mirror on stage. The mirror showed nothing. The audience gasped. They thought it was special effects. Then the actor screamed, a real scream, ragged, involuntary, animal. The crowd screamed back, not in fear yet, in pleasure, in the thrill of "I'm safe in my seat." And that's when Imani noticed the mirrors along the walls start to shimmer like they were drinking sound. The air thickened, sulfur, like a match struck inside the lungs. Mara's voice rolled through the theater, velvet and vile. "Listen to that, darlings. Doesn't it just feel alive?" The performer, Imani's double, moved behind the actor. Softly, professionally, like someone who'd done it before. They placed a hand on the actor's shoulder. The actor's scream cut off mid-note as if someone pinched the soul like a candle wick. Their eyes went empty, their body stayed standing, but their presence peeled away, subtle as breath leaving glass. The actor collapsed, the crowd erupted, phones held high. Sable gripped Imani's sleeve, whispering, "That looks too real." Imani's voice turned to ice, because it is. But here's the sick part: no blood, no obvious injury, nothing the audience could point to and say murder. It looked like performance art, hypnosis, theater tricks. Mara laughed softly. "We call it a reenactment," she said, letting the word drag, "but the mirror calls it memory." Imani stood. Her ears rang, and for a half-second the room wobbled, like her vision had been cut into frames and rearranged. A familiar warning sign. An episode. She gritted her teeth and forced herself steady. Not now. Not here. Not in a room made of mirrors. Mara turned, delighted. "Detective Cross?" she said into the microphone. The crowd murmured, heads turned, cameras pivoted. Imani felt hundreds of lenses land her like hooks. Mara smiled like she was about to unwrap a gift. "Tell them," Mara said gently, "what the mirror does to a person when they look." Imani tried to speak, and the world skipped. Just a blink, a missing frame, a cut. Then suddenly she was walking, down the aisle, toward the stage. She didn't decide to, her legs just did it. Sable hissed behind her, "Cross! What the hell are you doing?" Imani's heart slammed. She tried to stop, but her body moved like a puppet remembering its strings. On stage, her double smiled at her and mouthed clear as day, "Thank you." Imani reached the front row. The crowd cheered, thinking it was part of the show. Mara's eyes gleamed. "Yes," Mara purred, just like that, so obedient when the room is watching. Imani felt cold crawl up her spine, because the crowd wasn't just watching, they were syncing. Their breathing matched, their blinking matched, their phones lifted at the same angle like an army of tiny mirrors. Mara leaned close to Imani, voice low enough to be intimate, loud enough to be captured by every mic. "You don't even know you do it," Mara whispered. "That's my favorite part." Imani swallowed. "Do what?" Mara's smile sharpened. "Kill." Imani's stomach turned. "No." Mara tilted her head like she was amused by denial. "Oh, sweetheart," she said softly. "Your condition is a door. You just never told anyone you had a key." Imani froze. How did Mara know? Mara lifted her hand and gently tapped Imani's forehead with one finger, like a blessing, like a curse. And Imani's vision split. The mirrored wall behind Mara lit up, not with reflections, with footage, surveillance clips, security cams, elevator feeds, phone recordings, all showing Imani in places she swore she'd never been. Imani walking into a penthouse at 11:43 p.m. Imani standing over a victim with that sulfur haze curling around her like incense. Imani placing a compact mirror beside a body. Imani whispering something to the mirror. Then leaving. Calm, clean, professional. The crowd went wild, because they thought it was content. They thought it was editing. They thought it was fiction. Sable's voice cracked behind her. "Cross." Imani turned slightly, terrified. Sable was staring at the screen with horror that wasn't entertainment, because he recognized the timestamps, recognized the case numbers, recognized the reality. That's when Mara delivered the punchline, like a priest delivering doom. "You work so hard to catch monsters," she said, smiling, "and you never once suspected the sweetest monster is the one who thinks she's the hero." Imani's breath shook. "I'm not." Mara cut her off, playful. "Oh, don't worry. You're not all villain." She glanced toward the mirrored wall where the tall shadow figure in the suit stood, still, elegant, watching like ownership. "You're just the tool." Imani's ears rang again. Another skip, another missing frame. And in the instant of darkness between moments, Imani felt her own mouth move, felt words slip out that she didn't choose. A curse, low and furious, ripped from her like truth with teeth. "This is some evil-ass bullshit." The crowd laughed. They thought it was scripted. Mara laughed too, but her laughter had no warmth, only hunger. The theater lights cut out, total dark. Hundreds of phones glowed, and in every glowing screen, in every mirror, the audience saw the same thing. Imani on stage, and also Imani in the aisle, and also Imani behind the curtain, moving in 3 places at once, like the Syndicate had split her into performances. Sable shouted, "Imani, look at me!" Imani tried to turn, but the exit door wasn't a door anymore. It was a full-length mirror, and inside it, Imani's reflection stood outside in the street, safe, breathing, free. The reflection pressed a fingertip to the glass and mouthed, "Come alone." Then the reflection smiled, and for the first time, it wasn't the double smiling. It was Imani, the real Imani, smiling back, like she remembered something she'd been trying to forget. Cut to black, because the new mystery wasn't, who is the killer? It was, if she's the hidden villain. When did the Syndicate put the first mirror in her life?
Universal Currency Receipt Architect Musician 3611027, The Graceful Whisperer, our C-Star, Devalan Orrin Vey.
To our beautiful collective, from our day ones to every new soul joining this journey, we love and appreciate you deeply. You've turned this space into so much more than a community. You've made it a family. Thank you, truly. Your presence, your energy, and even the smallest acts of kindness have the power to shift the compass for many in ways unseen but deeply felt. Here's to each of you, all new and the many more to come. We're just getting started, and we're so grateful you're here with us. With love and infinite appreciation from the collective of Shaman Ahll.